Hey y'all, Scott here. Everybody, please welcome my new assistant. I can see why everybody said this game was bad.
This is the worst video game of all time. Second to be exact.
Masochism. The gratification in one's suffering physical pain or humiliation. Or, why I willingly chose to play one of the worst games of all time. And it only came out a few years ago.
And man, I played it so much, and I agree. It stunk. It was a horrible gaming experience and waste of my time that I'll never get back.
And this entire time I realized I wasn't even playing the game. I was just holding a beehive.
Ride to Hell Retribution. It's in the name. This game was released in 2013 for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, receiving some of the lowest review scores I've ever seen.
Pick any worst games of 2013 list, and Ride to Hell Retribution is going to be on it, including my own list.
I then bought it.
It was like $10 on Amazon, brand new. Nothing is free at the end of the day. If you want to experience the pain of childbirth, you have to pay for it.
Announced all the way back in 2008, Ride to Hell was just that. Ride to Hell, an open-world biker game based in 1969. It looked so badass, as in,
God, this ass is horrible!
This trailer was released, not showing gameplay, any story elements, nothing. Just letting bikers be bikers, damn it. Coming in 1969, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh my god!
All this trailer did was announce that a game titled Ride to Hell was coming to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC in 2009, published by Deep Silver and developed by, put a gun to my head, I couldn't pronounce this. Ride to Hell was supposed to be an open world game taking place in the 1960s within California, based all around biker culture, to be co-developed by Deep Silver Vienna. They shut down. Ride to Hell missed its initial 2009 release date, as things were practically radio silent after the initial trailer released. Cancellation was all but confirmed, but 4 years later, there was life. In early 2013, age ratings started to pop up on websites for a game titled Ride to Hell Retribution, and by April, trailers released. Still published by Deep Silver, developed only by Uperlight, and releasing in June of 2013. Hell, they announced 3 games during this time. Ride to Hell Retribution, Ride to Hell Route 666, an Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network side game developed by Black Forest Games to be released the same month as Retribution, and Ride to Hell Beatdown for mobile devices. This was set to be a franchise, and then the game released.
Yeah, Retribution was the only Ride to Hell game that actually released, which means it's on the same level as Applebee's and Chicken Fingers. It exists. Upon release, this game got more notoriety than it would have normally because it turned out this game was fucking horrible.
It's been almost 3 years since I even looked at Ride to Hell Retribution, and yet it always crawls back into my mind whenever the worst games of whatever year list comes out.
Listen, I never even heard of this game prior to launch. I have no expectations going into this, which means I should play through it all. I am the prime specimen to do such a thing. Go ahead, test me. You can't win them all, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna do it. I still haven't beaten Ocarina of Time, so you know what that means. I'm gonna beat Ride to Hell Retribution.
I don't think anyone, ever, has beaten this game.
Nuh-uh, Jared, I actually beat this game.
You're lying!
Well, let's take a look at what Metacritic deems as one of the worst games of all time. Second to Family Party 30 Great Games Obstacle Arcade.
Which one do you want?
Yeah.
Well, here's the copy that I own since 2014. Ride to Hell Retribution. 1%.
What is that, the Metacritic score?
Apparently this relates to outlaw bikers. Well, you'll learn something new every day. Like my opinion on this box art.
This looks fucking awesome.
This is on another level. It's about as epic as something like Red Dead Redemption 2.
And you know what they say, you can't spell Red Dead Redemption 2 without Ride to Hell Retribution, Red Dead Redemption 2.
2 fists, 2 wheels, no rules.
Groceries.
The manual? Well, you know, I'm open to playing a bad game. I haven't beaten all these, so my standards haven't been finalized yet.
This is for me. I need to put this to rest.
Let's fucking do it! I wonder what the guy who designed this screen's doing right now. The title screen still just says Ride to Hell. I assume Retribution was a last-minute addition to boost sales.
Oh.
It opens with what you can expect from this game. Biker dudes, motorcycles, a turret section? What?
I always wanted to be a biker.
No joke. Literally, the first bit of gameplay that there is a turret section. It doesn't last long because this is a flash forward sequence, which flashes to the next bit of high octane action this game has to offer, a quick time event.
Whoa, Oh, spoilers!
45 seconds. We're only 45 seconds into this game, and we've already checked off 2 of the most overused cliches in any action game ever. And yes, it does get worse.
And our hero shoots this guy in the head. The back of the box implies his name is Jake Conway, but for now, I don't know, I'll just call him Nibbles. He jumps a helicopter and... that's it! 10 days earlier. Nibbles just got done serving in Vietnam. I think there's only so much deducing I can do here. The year, the army base, the only thing missing is seeing straight up the professional spelling of Nam, Viet. Nibbles is supposedly named Jake Conway, according to in-game text.
Agree to disagree.
He comes home meeting up with Mac, the uncle.
Old high school nickname.
He tells Jake he looks like shit.
I too have uncles rate my appearance.
It's time to meet your baby brother Mikey, but you gotta rest for a bit, so you're hanging out at home watching TV.
Swear to God, I'd rather be polishing boots than sit through this crap.
Just watching a movie's credits will do that to you.
Mikey starts crying about not seeing a concert with his girlfriend and runs away on a motorcycle.
Mikey's not happy he's being treated like a little kid in front of big boy Nibbles. He just wants to see a band tonight, but Mac won't let him, so he runs away, and it's my duty to stop him. Here I have our first mission, chasing after Mikey on her hog. Cool feature is that if you mess up slightly, the game fades to black and starts you back somewhere else. Even cooler feature is that messing up slightly can mean just grazing an obstacle. Like imagine in Mario Kart, if you hit the wall, you get reset on the course as if you fell off it. I'm not even in an inescapable situation here, I just grazed the wall!
The motorcycle sections suck, alright? I'll go more in depth later as they show up all the time. All you need to know is that Mikey and Jake talk, but I have no idea what about, as the bikes drown out everything that they're saying.
Why did you stick up? Jesus, Mike. We have a heart-to-heart with Mikey wearing a Toledo jacket? Well, this game hits home for me already. Toledo, Ohio, stay a while. There's a Burger King down the road. Speaking of burgers, Jake's gonna get Mikey a burger.
Finally, somebody had to do it.
After a brief heart-to-heart about girl problems and how hard life can be with giant monster hands, some other biker dudes come up and start bullying Mikey.
They're threateners. Mikey got his burger, let's get out of here. But they noticed the Toledo jacket Mikey's wearing. Toledo, Ohio, don't get killed here.
And then there's another bike chase. It's just like the first bike chase with weird physics and bad controls, only now enemies try to kill Jake during the chase. They magnetize themselves next to you, and then it's a quick time event to kill them. This allows Jake to take out enemies.
Hit the button.
I'm a badass! I'm a badass! I'm a badass!
Or in some cases, use a telekinetic punch, followed up by a wave kick, and then mind controlling the motorcycle to drive over one of the other guys, and then blow up. Despite this incredible display of power, Jake and Mikey are suddenly surrounded by the biker gang.
What led to this?
Oh man, Jake does the sick move, watch.
Don't you move now, cherry pie.
Did you see it? Because you sure didn't hear it.
I didn't edit that at all. That's actually how the cutscene plays out, devoid of sound. That happens more than once.
Okay, so Jake knows that him and Mikey's dad has a past, and this gang wants to kill any member of his family. So why does Mikey keep wearing the damn jacket? That made him the target of these people. It's a jacket that has insignia that can easily be identified as their father's, which makes it a danger to wear around these people.
Guess who gets their neck slit?
Yeah, I don't care. Anyway, Kylo Ren gets his throat slit.
Rats! And if you didn't realize that, here's an instant replay in slow motion.
And they shoot Jake 3 times, who reacts by looking like he has indigestion. And now Jake swears to kill every single one of them. And off he rides, looking for dudes to murder.
So Jake starts wearing the jacket. Smart move. They love that. And he's off to seek revenge and kill the gang that offed Mikey, the Devil's Hand. We then have another driving section. All right, cool. We haven't had that in a while.
The way the game plays out is that you have on-foot action sections and or talking to people, and in between each one is riding a bike. You just waste time and really add nothing to the game, aside from a weak justification as to why we end up from fight to fight. Every single one of these parts is just padding to make the game last way longer than it should. And like I said earlier, they're not fun to play either. The controls are stiff and the physics are all over the place. And it's not really interesting because you just go in a straight line, occasionally murdering some gangbangers or cops or power sliding for way too long under stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I did it.
And everywhere is under construction! I swear to God, there isn't a finished road in this game! There's more road construction going on in this game than all of Texas!
Alright, so we're looking for a guy named Anvil. So we get into a fight with this guy who is an Anvil, and then a fight with these extra non-Anvils, and this is where we get to experience the hand-to-hand combat in the game.
This is the other main part of the gameplay. fighting dudes. It uses a quarter-assed version of the combat system from the Batman Arkham games. You have a light attack, heavy attack, block, and a counterattack. Like the driving, it's very stiff and impossible to make your attacks flow. There's no way to change targets smoothly to prioritize enemies, and the transition from not fighting to fighting mode staggers any response in the controls, meaning enemies will get some free hits on you practically every time.
Listen, you could block, dodge, use your light attack in addition to your heavy one, but why do that when your kick literally stops any enemies from doing anything to you? You can just keep kicking a guy until they eventually die. Other enemies around will practically never do anything to you, and if they will, it's always a telegraphed attack where you hit the Y button when that appears.
You give them the boot so often that they can't fight back, and you can do this until you win, every time.
Who knew the kick was mightier than the sword? So we get our info out of this guy on where Anvil is before brutally making his neck gush blood. It happens. Ever drink a glass of nails? Off to the big city, we find Anvil's dealer, Carlos, who leads us to these motels. I can see why that Metacritic review said it controls better than the graphics. I mean, on foot's okay. Don't really know how you can mess up a game like this where you can't jump or anything.
Some lady was being harassed by a guy. When I went to help, he immediately began attacking me, and he was tough! Until I started using the boot over and over again until he died, saving the girl and what the fuck? What? Why are we sexing?
See, with the speedruns of Ride to Hell Retribution, even though skipping the sex cutscenes is 100% beneficial, nobody does it.
This isn't even sex! They're fully clothed! They're clothed so hard it stabs through her arm! Yeah, baby. You wanna know how this is super erotic? When she makes this blank, emotionless stare the entire time.
This is considered a collectible.
That was not an editing trick. That is exactly what happens, and it's the most deplorable thing about Ride to Hell Retribution. Women are used as literal trophies.
And after that, there goes Anvil.
Anvil runs away, and we go into a bike chase that, according to the skyline, takes 16 hours.
Fight more goons? Oh, hey, ghost bike. Get these guys off and then their bikes crash into something, explode, but the bike's still going.
He hides himself in a brewery, and Jake can't get in. Don't worry though, he can charm his way into anything by throwing out some casual sexism.
I don't ever recall seeing a woman fixing a truck before.
That'll get us in.
Her name is... Oh my god, they never gave her a name! Mechanic lady can get Jake into the building that Anvil's hiding in, but her ex-husband has the key. So you drive there while murdering some dudes and beat them up.
What the hell are you looking?
Don't with the Sons of Anarchy fan. So the mechanic randomly rewards us with unnaked intercourse in a jumpsuit.
Impressive.
She's in a jumpsuit! She's even more clothed than the last lady! How is this even possible? This is supposed to be titillating, but all I can think about is how gross that twin-size bed is. There isn't even sound effects, just the most stereotypical porn music you can think of. Apparently this sex was super good, because afterwards, Jake refused to move and pretended to fly a kite for several minutes.
Mac, you there?
Jake, what's the situation?
I just f***ed the mechanic.
Was it good for you?
We grab some guns from Tyrell, but we have to prove how fearless we are before getting them by beating the piss out of his closest friends. This is why he should trust me. We get our guns and go to the shooting range. Just like any game that has shooting elements, this is our tutorial. Oh my god! This is the stiffest control I've ever experienced in a shooter. It's so sluggish, it's like you're controlling it through water.
I see Tyrell fixed you up good.
Cannot say the same to you. We're in the hideout. It's completely silent until I open this garage door.
Oh, here it is, our first mass murder!
Inside the brewery is 5 full levels of shooting dudes. Speaking of which, I've never played a game with such sloppy third-person shooting controls. The acceleration of the aiming makes it impossible to be precise, even when aiming down the sights. I even turned down the mouse sensitivity, but it didn't help. And you have to aim down the sights because firing from the hip is worthless. There is absolutely no indicator of where you're aiming without it. So running and gunning isn't really an option, especially with how stiff your movement is. Rather than just moving in the direction you press, Jake has to adjust his whole body or completely turn in that direction first. This causes a delay in your movement, which is deadly when you're caught up in fights.
See, the tactic I have here is to just go for headshots. It already takes forever to line your gun up with enemies, so you might as well make them count and bite them off in one shot. Of course, you have a dead brother, which means you do have dead brother rage. After walloping on an enemy enough, you can grunt with the B button. Then we have 3 quick time events to do our business. So I traveled throughout this warehouse office thing. I have this effect on chairs, which I mean, hey, say what you will, that's impressive. Sometimes the enemies give you time to figure things out. Sometimes they give you more chairs to play with. Like, come on, they must have known they had funky physics. Why give the biker homicide game a room full of chairs? We are approximately 22 minutes into this level and nothing's changed. I met these big guys with the hockey mask. They're tougher and have stronger guns, which makes me ask, why give the big dudes stronger guns and facial protection and the smaller guys weak guns and no protection? These guys are a pain. Like, did you know fat guys take twice as many shotgun shells to go down? So we get to Anvil and chase him out.
Quick, he's out of my range.
Act like you did
Chase Anvil on the road, we have the gun while Mac drives. It's almost impossible to be accurate here as the shooting controls are so stiff and your target is constantly moving, with you also constantly moving, and on top of that, you have to make sure Mac doesn't die. I try shooting at this guy, but I can't get the cursor on him properly.
What the f just happened?
Afterwards, we have a timed chase with Anvil. You have to shoot him enough to win. To win. The controls make this damn near impossible. You can't get a good shot on this guy for your life. But when you finally win, it's glorious. You get to ask Anvil where the rest of the gang is.
And he doesn't give away much information, which makes Jake angry.
Jake, what the hell happened?
What the hell happened? That the hell happened.
In between missions, you're at a sort of home base where you can sell drugs and spend money on upgrades. This includes buying weapons. And I have to show you how inept the developers are. Look at these controls! They don't make any sense! You use the arrow keys to select items, enter to purchase, 7 and 8 to flip pages, and F1 to confirm? F***ing F1? This isn't a 1980s DOS game! How do you screw up a menu?
So it should be obvious by now, Ride to Hell isn't the open world game it was destined to be. It is stages of driving, quick time event combat, and third-person shooter segments. Is it better?
It's Ride to Hell.
So the movement is tilted, and the aiming is unreliable, and the driving is empty padding. What part of this game is fun? None of it. None of it is fun.
Ellie, Mikey's girlfriend thing, calls on the walkie-talkie and gives us insight on what to do next, so we meet up with Dr. Blotter. He talks, I didn't listen.
Wow, he is a real doctor.
5-minute driving segment ensues. Not only are the devil's hand against us, but the police are too, evident by them putting a air filter on the road. Aw, Jake isn't happy.
Jake has to deliver some drugs while relentlessly murdering cops who are hilariously poor at their job.
So we gotta avoid those and whatever the f that was. Oh man, I ran into a car which fades us to black and sends me back a little bit.
I'm sorry?
So Dr. Blotter told us to go to this bar to find Colt. So we have a new driving segment, but this time we can use our gun and it enters this dumbass slow motion section where it wants you to shoot the enemies, but it stays in slow motion even after you kill them for an extended amount of time. I don't know what that was from. Make it to the bar and Jake says how these guys are showing disrespect towards this woman. Like he's much better. Come up!
And she's so thankful that they're dead that she immediately has sex with Jake on the pool table. The same pool table that I definitely covered in this dude's head blood.
Oh, god damn it! This girl just said she had a man before this. Why was her immediate reaction to a named Nibbles killing lumberjacks to have sex on a pool table?
I love your dog tags. So sexy, baby.
You're not even looking at them! She gives the location of the Devil's Hand member Colt, who is at a ranch protected by an electrified fence. Jake's answer to get around the fence? Steal an oil tanker, drive it 15 miles down the road, park it in front of the city dam, and blows it up! You could have driven through the fence, or blown up the fence, or easily climbed one of the many nearby trees to simply climb over it. But no, you're right. This way is the easiest.
We've already killed so many people. What's one tanker truck gonna do?
Oh man, Jake's getting mad. You get to drive with the tanker, but considering these levels were designed for the bike, there's not really a ton to do other than accelerate.
Oh no! That guy!
Now it's a combat section. I gotta traverse this area to get somewhere, I don't know.
I do want to point out how good the AI is.
I apparently need to shoot this fuse box here. Should have shot the fuse box. Some explosion happens, we're at the ranch. Kill everybody at the ranch. Oh, come on, there's another sex scene, and it's the exact same as the first one! Sonic Adventure. All right, kill that guy, and...
Wait, this isn't real?
we find Colt, and Jake takes a bite out of the air. Arr. We shoot a gas tank to explode, but Colt escapes, so we escape too. But we have to figure out where Colt went, so we force one of his henchmen to spill it while burning alive.
Where is he?
Airplane cemetery. Got to protect the stock. God damn it, man. Give me the water.
Colt told him all of that while he was running away? While he was on fire?
Colt runs to an airplane graveyard, because this city has one of those apparently. Here, it's fighting a lot of dudes to get to Colt.
It's the exact same goddamn thing we did last stage. Move forward, kill 10 enemies. Move forward, kill 10 enemies. Sometimes they have guns, sometimes they don't. Move forward, the stage took me an hour to get through, and the only challenge came from the jackass shooting controls. Other than that, it's just the same shit over and over and over again. We reach this guy who's shooting at me non-stop with a turret, on top of 15 enemies, all with guns shooting at me. What do you want me to do? Look how quickly my health goes down here, and I'm not even fully in the open or anything. It's just a game of fucking peekaboo of when to shoot and I'm dead. Maybe I'll go over to the left and hide behind this cover and shoot the guy. Nope. Here. No. Here. No! Oh good, the same 20-second long loading screen again. I love this thing.
That's why I die a lot.
After finding Colt in the airplane graveyard, the game suddenly assured me that all enemies in the area are dead. But I have reason to believe that the game might be lying to me.
I guess I was focusing too much on the other enemies, as just shooting at Colt is enough to at the very least get a cutscene. He's not dead, so we have to deal with all 30 enemies here. You get all the way up to the airplane with this whole ass football field of space between you and the dozen enemies with guns and no cover for you to take, but they have some, that's what I thought! Oh, and when I respawn after death here, it doesn't start me after I shot Colt enough to get him to retreat into the plane more with that cutscene. No, it starts me at the very beginning of the Colt encounter. Okay, I'll try harder this time, son of a bitch! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Oh my god, I was shooting at Colt that entire time? Oh, this is from the opening cutscene. We get to control it. Look how I get to pull the triggers.
That was all me.
On to our next target of the Devil's Hand, Meat Hook.
Get the f off me. Shut up, old man.
No!
So I saved this old man, and he says Meat Hook is boxing tonight, and he'd be glad to take me, but I have to race him first.
My brother died.
Maybe if I beat him in a race, I'll stand a chance in the ring. Dude, I just saved your life. Just drive me to a boxing match. Why do I have to do this? Whatever. All right, let me power slide beneath this. Wait, why is it resetting me? I cleared that.
I'm 3 hours in.
After having to race some dude for reasons, I tracked another Devil's Hand gang member at a fight club. But in order to battle him, I have to fight my way up. What's actually nice about this part is that since it's based entirely on the hand-to-hand combat, the developers really upped the intricacies of these fights. You have to use every attack and technique available if you want to stand a chance. As you can see here, I have already perfected combat. Immediately after this dude is another fight. This man is a bit slimmer, so I changed my fighting style completely to get around his lightning-quick reflexes. This took a lot of finesse, and by a slim margin, I was victorious. But there is a round 3 with a big lumberjack dude, which means previous tactics aren't going to work. I had to quickly adjust to this behemoth of a man to defeat him. Now, his AI is far improved over the other combatants. He is nowhere near as simple to beat, but, as I said, I am a master, and this game bends to my will, allowing me to beat this guy using the most advanced techniques that I have. This brings out the Devil's Hand member himself, Meat Hook. Oh geez, it's the machete dude that murdered Mikey. He's pretty much the boss of this part. I have no idea how I'm gonna take this guy on, unless I'm being cheered on by at least 7 identical women in the audience. And thanks to that power, I can focus all of my strength in advanced fighting moves to break through his impenetrable defenses. And halfway through the fight, he pulls out a spiked bat. All joking aside, this actually does make the fight way harder. I really enjoyed the complexity of this particular section. The developers really upped their game in making this fight far more interesting than any of the others. This game has a lot of shortcomings, but there is clearly a lot of care that went into this one fight alone. Just as Jake is about to get some answers from Meat Hook, another Devil's Hand member stabs him in the middle of the back through the pull of the ring.
Well, Greasy Steve is our next target. We gotta chase him for info, but he's just so greasy. He throws dynamite, we lose him. Greasy Steve's girlfriend asks us to take her to a band playing that night, and she'll tell us where to find him.
This is my favorite song.
This means saving a bunch of ladies by killing every single dude around them. And that means, what else? An orgy! Yeah. These two chicks press their faces against his jeans so hard that it sucks the soul out of him.
This girl does not look happy. We fight a bunch of thugs again, this time in a warehouse, which is basically 90% of this game's settings. Then we gotta save the gas station from the guys trying to blow it up. Likes murder, loves small business. Okay, so we race and shoot at Greasy Steve.
You know, Steve, you put yourself into these situations. Okay, why do you have to race? You have guns, you have knives. You can kill Jake Conway right there, but instead you decide it's more effective to kill a team member because they were about to tell Jake Conway why they were going to kill him, rather than just killing Jake Conway right there. So, no, I'm sorry, I can't get behind Greasy Steve.
All right, we have new leads from Greasy Steve. That doesn't stop Jake from killing him with dynamite. Lovely. On to King Dick. To church we go. There's so many damn enemies, as per usual. The AI is so inconsistent. Sometimes they're pissed dumb, and other times they're just unfair. I take cover, and this guy just runs behind me and starts blasting at me. Great. The amount of time it takes for you to die is also incredibly inconsistent. I go up to shoot this guy, and within 3 seconds, I'm nearing death when they're this far away from me. But here, I'm literally right up their nose, and I'm not dying. Like, come on, right here. That seems like a little quick, doesn't it? These hockey mask guys are a bitch. They take forever to take down with bullets. You have to land like 20 headshots on them. And even then, these spaghetti head start wiggling out. It's the same shit over and over. You just keep running up, 10 enemies pop out, and they just keep coming. I'm 7 hours into this game and 40 minutes deep into just this segment of running up to the church, and I gotta be honest, I'm starting to not like this game. But I finally made it to the church where King Dick resides. I'm so happy.
My thoughts exactly.
And during a speech of his, King Dick holds up what I hope to God are his victims' fingers.
Who the is that?
Damn, our guerrilla marketing tactics aren't working.
So we have to traverse this church while King Dick constantly throws dynamite and his men shoot at me. So you want to stay behind cover, but staying behind cover isn't gonna work if dynamite is being thrown in your direction. My point is, life fucking stinks. There's no way to get past any of this without cheesing the game. I have to find this corner where I can just kill all his henchmen and then wail on him myself. Oh, what are we gonna start giving raspberries on his tummy? We get to break King Dick's fingers with QuickTime events.
This bucket list is getting
You rotten son of a bitch!
That isn't an insult directed towards me, per se.
Well, we get to drown him via QuickTime events too. Take your time. Next mission.
Young love.
666 comes up and starts heckling Jake.
You know what kind of mess you're in?
Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Matt comes out and shoots at him, but then they all come back and start shooting at his garage. Why shoot the garage? Jake's right there. You're outnumbering him. One guy. You can just shoot him right there. One guy. All it takes is one guy. But no, guess how many enemies you have to kill in this section defending the garage? 38! But they're just trying to destroy the garage for some reason, because they'd rather act like this rather than get work done.
I should be killing you right now, but instead I'm gonna tell everybody you have hemorrhoids first.
Between all of this is crappy bike sections with dudes flying in from nowhere or trying really hard to phase through rails, shooting dudes in the brain as they run into my gun, QuickTime events, banging one more chick in a dirty alleyway for good measure, and more lovely voice acting.
You're the devil.
You know, every single interaction in this game ends the same. Either Jake tortures a man until they tell him who to go for next and then he kills them, or he f***s them.
So we follow this guy 666 on bike, shoot him down, then follow him throughout the sawmill. This portion was abhorrent. So you have to stand on this platform to trigger an elevator to come down, but then enemies come out and the game says hold them down, take cover. There's no cover to take on the elevator, so I assume it means, hey, the elevator's already coming. You don't need to be on this pressure pad. Find cover and take out the enemies, then go take the elevator. But the enemies never end. Like, they legitimately never end. 50 minutes of fending off these enemies in the right-hand corner turns out, yeah, you were supposed to stay on the elevator.
Okay.
This elevator moves so slow, but enemies will go on the pressure pad to bring it down, but it's not a big deal. Just move over and shoot them. Move over and shoot them. Move over and shoot them! So we get into this sawmill and beat up more guys for 20 minutes and meet up with 666, and his boss fight requires the most thought as you have to counter certain moves and dodge others.
Even though I clearly have a gun on my back and the game won't let me just shoot the bastard.
But my god, this game needed a sprint button. The only thing you have is the evade option, and that barely works. Look at this! So we beat 666 and Jake actively tortures him. Oh, I wonder if after 666 tells Jake everything he needs to know, he's gonna murder him anyways. Oh. Next mission, we're introduced to Ellie, who was introduced before. Twice. She tells us somebody named Brandy would be around the speedway. She knows Pretty Boy, but to earn her trust, we have to win a race. This is like the only driving segment where I have to drift, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work! Thankfully, holding up on the thumbstick gives us a boost. I don't know how we get more boost and why we're boosting, but hey, I won after 4 tries. Brandy tells us she needs to see me win another race. Oh, for the love of Christ! All right, so we win that, and Brandy tells us to pick up a bike in these mines from Orson.
Oh my god! Orson's in the game!
Now we have a driving segment. Looks like I have to make this jump. We're 9 hours in. So we bring this bike to Tyrell, who put some explosives onto it or something, but he wants us to check in with a friend of his. He's killed immediately. So now we have to go through this level. For no reason. Yeah, I'm running through this trailer park. Okay, 2-second cutscene with what?
You ever have a bad game make you feel like an idiot? Like literally everybody else during that section knew exactly what to do there. Except me, apparently.
Why, yes. It does get worse.
So we get back. Tell Tyrell his guy died. Oops, I don't know. We get the bike with explosives, give it to Brandy, then follow her with Max. So I assume we're gonna wait until Pretty Boy and Brandy go for a ride on it themselves, or at least wait until Pretty Boy goes outside to take a look at the bike to detonate it. No, just blow it up to bring attention to yourself so you can kill all of his men.
What the hell? What was the point of fitting it with explosives to begin with? You might as well have just given Brandy the bike as is, follow her to Pretty Boy's house, and then just throw a fucking grenade!
Mac does this dumbass thing when he's driving, when he gets shot, and it's like, oh, there you go. That's how you know I'm dead. All right, so then we chase after Pretty Boy and gun him down. So then Jake goes from torturing these people to really torturing these people. So he punches this guy after he told us pretty much everything we already know. Like, yeah, there's a kill order on Jake's family led by some guy named Caesar. His arm becomes untied, so you know, you could do something about that. Never mind. So Mac and Jake are hanging out, and Mac admits that he always knew about the kill order, but it's like, wasn't it obvious there was a kill order on the family? I don't know. Turns out Jake's dad got into a ton of bad junk. That's why there's a kill order here. The Mac's bike explodes. Sure. So we're off driving away, and because we're near the end of the game, difficulty ramps up a bit. The quick time events here. You need to be tapping the button that appears basically before you see what it is. The split second it takes to register what button you need to hit, it's too late. The game won't count it, and you have dumb shit like this happen. Turns out a viable option here is to just tap all the buttons. That works. Ellie tells us she's proud of us as nobody's ever stood up to them like this before.
I've killed thousands.
So let's drive after an army truck, take out the thugs who stole it, shove this guy's head against fire to tell you info, then just let him be afterwards.
He's a serial killer with a conscience.
Then we take the truck and drive that back, get an RPG from Tyrell, but get a call from Ellie saying the Devil's Hands stormed the property. Jake heads back and they did something to Mac. Well, at least they told him where to go. So we show up here and we get a 7-minute long cutscene of plot exposition where it turns out Ellie is the daughter of Caesar.
Oh my god. Who's Ellie again?
Remember Mikey's girl problems? This is Ellie, Mikey's girlfriend, and her dad, Caesar, is the leader of the Devil's Hand gang. Plot twist, I guess. Caesar kidnaps Ellie, and Jake goes to have a final showdown. This is where all of the secrets of Jake's dad comes out. Jake's dad gambled his mom to Caesar and lost, so he ran away. And that's why they killed Mikey, and you know what? It's not important.
So she was Mikey's friend, a girlfriend or something, but she doesn't like Caesar, and Jake's dad was not cool with Caesar, so that's why he's running this whole thing. Sure. Our final section of the game! We have to fight off against these enemies, some with RPGs as well. You know, I truly realized how horrible the weapon management in this game is. Half the time, I have no idea where any of mine are. Up on the D-pad grabs the one on your back, left and right cycles through the rest, but it's so unorganized. You have all these enemies coming out to get you, with one using an RPG, and the amount of times it takes for you to die is either fucking endless or instantaneous. Like, really? Really? How did I lose so much health from that?
Murder, 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 and Jake and Ellie give one last bike chase to get Caesar. They catch up, Jake jumps to his bike, QuickTime events his eyes out, and then gives one last action hero catchphrase to top it off.
Stay cool.
I'm done! I'm fucking done!
Big fucking hands. Oh wait, there's DLC. It's bad. So that is Ride to Hell Retribution. Glitchy, unplayable, unfinished, brutally difficult for all the wrong reasons, offensive to play, offensive in general.
The gameplay, the voice acting, and the worst sex scenes in video game history. Everything that's here is incohesive and terrible. There are so many better things you could be playing. That's why my final rating for this game is fully clothed Barbie and Ken dolls dry humping out of 10. Everything sucks. The fighting is stupidly broken, the shooting is stiff and too difficult to use for as often as it is, and the driving sections lack any kind of player engagement, making them nothing more than padding for a game that's twice as long as it should be.
I felt something while playing it. It shocked me at every corner. It's so horrible, the mere act of it existing shocks me.
This game is offensive. Nobody should play this. Ever. This game is a modern legend. It'll go down in history as the worst game of the last generation. Ride to Hell joins the ranks of bad games like Bubsy 3D, Superman 64, Hydlide, and Drake of the 99 Dragons.
I played this game for 15 hours and I beat it, so I have that going for me, though HowLongToBeat.com lists it as lasting 9 hours. Well, that makes me feel like a bitch. Though the extended time I spent with the game changed me. I'm a badass now. I know exactly how badasses operate. Watch, I can draw blood with a plastic knife. Okay, so I got cut with a plastic knife, though I drew blood with a plastic knife. Am I a badass or a pussy?
This game is so bad, even the cops in it want out. Well, hello, officers. I hope you're having a good... Whoop. Oh, okay.